Hi everyone, welcome to this channel. My name is Lode and in this tutorial I will learn you how you can build a chatbot that will generate you or your clients more leads. Together we will build a chatbot specifically designed for a personal coach who wants to generate more high quality leads for his business. The main goal of the chatbot is on the one hand to gather more information about our potential customers, but also to provide a better customer engagement. In this way that a higher percentage of the website visitors will convert into real high quality leads. We will use Botpress to build our chatbot and integrate it with a custom knowledge database that we can query using AI. So I hope you are as excited as I am. So without further ado, let's dive into our tutorial. So before we get started on the Botpress platform, I first want to show you this PDF file that I've created that will serve as our knowledge database with information regarding our personal coaching business. It's a fictive document. I actually made it with ChatGPT and it contains information about this personal training business Sports for You, and it gives information about their services, so their trainings, their coaching sessions, group sessions, online coaching, but also more information about their two coaches and the different programs they have. And somewhat information about different classes such as Pilates, strength training, cardio, etc. And then finally you also get some information regarding the pricing, some testimonials and contact information. So basically this document will serve as a knowledge database for our AI model, so that when a user has a question about one of these information blocks, that the AI model will extract the information for here and provide it to the user. So now let's get over to the Botpress platform. As you can see here, I've created a new Botpress chatbot, so we can now go ahead and edit it. So first of all, we can integrate our knowledge database, so the document I just showed you. Let's browse over Sports for You. Here we go. This is the PDF file that we just checked out. Confirm, upload in progress. Okay, nice. Now we have our knowledge database there. Great. So here we are. This is already a template workflow that Botpress makes for us, but we'll go ahead and delete everything and just start from scratch. Okay, here we are. So we will start by creating a first node, which is our welcome node. And in this welcome node, we will add some text to say hello to our customer. Type here. Hi there. I am Charlie, your virtual assistant for today. And then the first thing we want to do is to get the name of the visitor, so that we can personalize our responses more. So for that we will use the person name input. We add it here and we ask the question before we get started, could you give me your name, please? Okay, and we will store this variable and name. Okay. And then what's nice is that in Botpress you can add these variables in your text. So for example, we can then reply, nice to meet you, and then we'll add the name of the user by just using workflow.name.first, because we want the first name. So we can already test this. Let's connect this to start, and I will move my screen here. So this is a new feature actually of Botpress, where they automatically have this chatbot that uses your knowledge database to start some small talk. It's a nice feature, but for now I will disable it, not to confuse you with the workflow we're setting up ourselves. So that should do it. Let's type hi. Hi there, I am Charlie, your virtual assistant for today. Before we get started, could you give me your name, please? So I type Lode. Nice to meet you, Lore. Of course, you can add more flavor to the text or some emojis or whatever you prefer, but I'm just going to show you like the basic workflow here so that you can start off and fine-tune it yourself. Okay, now let's create our second node where we want to get information about why the user is on our website and what kind of trainings they're interested in. So for this, let's create the node fitness preference, and let's ask our user the question. Let's move this. What kind of trainings are you interested in? So, and as you might have noticed, I've added here the single choice card because I want to generate several options for the user to click on. So let's store this information in the variable preference, then click on advanced configuration choice, and here we can add our options, which are cardio, power training, and Pilates. And then I also want to add the option other, because we do not want to limit our user to these 3 trainings, because as we are a personal trainer, we are more flexible, and we also want to give information on other things that we can do. So let's add the variable other, and the way that we set up our next steps of the workflow, we will use AI to also be able to formulate an answer on the selection other. And this you will see in a minute. Okay, so first just let's add a text saying awesome. Okay, now maybe first let's connect our nodes and test the fitness preference one. Okay, if we go here and type hi. Okay, hi there, Charlie. So can you give me your name? Give your name. Lore, nice to meet you, Lore. And then he asked me what kind of trainings I am interested in. And I will click cardio, and then we get a reply. Awesome. Okay, that's great. Now what we want to do is we want to give the user more information about the training that they've selected. So again, we will create another node, which we'll call more info. And now this is where the fun starts. So what we will do is we add this query knowledge base. And basically what we can do with this query knowledge base card, we can insert a prompt that will be answered by our knowledge database. And in this prompt we can also add the variables that we stored before. So the variable that includes the preferred training of the user. So the prompt that we will use to query our knowledge database can be something like give more information about the horse. And now we want to insert our variable workflow dot preference, which is either cardio, power training, or Pilates. We will come back to the other option later in this tutorial. But first, let's start on these ones. So maybe what I will do, I will connect those 3 options to the more info box. Okay. And I will add some extra information to make sure that the reply is not too long. So I will add, literally don't make it too long, only use max 50 words. Okay, and then we will store this in more info reply. Okay, cool. Now we have created our database, but we have not yet an output that will be shown to the user. So for this we will need to add a text card. And then here we will add the variable workflow dot more info reply. Okay, I think we can give this a try. So maybe let's start from the fitness preference. So what kind of trainings are you interested in? Let's say cardio. And now, as you can see, we have created our knowledge database. And using the knowledge database that we have in the backend, so if you remember the PDF file that we uploaded at first, we get this information. Our cardio class is designed to elevate your heart rate, improve endurance, blah 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 blah, and our focus is on increasing our cardiovascular strength, burning fat, and enhancing overall fitness. So this gives a nice description of what is included in the cardio trainings that are offered by this personal trainer. Before we continue, I've noted a small mistake because we direct the flow after selecting our preference. We are actually skipping this awesome card, so it's actually better to add it here because otherwise it just won't show. Okay, let's now try to cope with the other option. We will create a new nodes and call it other option. And we will add a raw input question saying what other training would you be interested in? And we will store this in the same variable as the other options, so the workflow.preference variable, because then we can actually reuse the more info node here. So what we will do is actually just connect the other option node to the more info node, and I will make it a bit more clear here. We'll move the ends also a bit further down the line. Okay, so let's give this a try. I'll move my head again and let's start our conversation from scratch. Before we get started, can you give me your name? Yep. And then now we will select the other option. And the chatbot asks what other training I would be interested in. So let's say I'm interested in the BBB course, which is listed on their website. I get the first reply, awesome. And then we get information about the BBB class. And the reason that we get this information is because there was also information about the BBB class in the knowledge database that we provided. Okay, cool. We already have a chatbot that welcomes our user, that retrieves their name and their preferred training, and also gives information about their preferred training. In the next phase, we want to convince this user to give their information and schedule a free intake session with our personal coach. So to do that, we will create another node again, and we will call it free intake. We will now add a single choice card and ask our user if they would be interested in a free intake. I hope you are as excited about the training as I am. Would you be interested in a free intake session? Store this in the variable free intake, and then again add some choices, make it yes and no, which is of course something we don't want, but we need to provide this. Okay, and then let's first connect these nodes. Okay, let's create a new node that gathers the information of the client. We'll first add a text saying that is great, as we want to personalize this first session as much as possible. It would be great if you could provide us some more information about yourself. And then we will start with the email address. Could you share your email, please? Starting in the variable email. And then you can actually collect as much information as possible. I think for this tutorial we will stick to their age and the number of times they want to work out. So they're both numbers. So let's ask, what is your age? Store it in the variable age, and then how many times do you want to train in a week? And then training times. Voila. Okay, and now we can finalize this note with a message. Thank you so much. Someone of the Sports for You team will reach out soon to schedule your first session. And that's it. We have gathered the information of our client, and all this information can be stored in a table or even sent to a Google Sheet or your email address automatically, but this would require a bit more extensive automations, which I'll be happy to share with you in another tutorial. But for this tutorial, I rather stick with fine-tuning this chatbot workflow, and then in another video I will cover some more advanced automations if you'd like that. There's one feature that I still would like to add, which is answering questions from our user, and this will increase customer engagement, which will also hopefully increase the number of leads that we get from website visitors that use this chatbot. So looking at our workflow, there are some options there where we don't have a note. For example, here at the free intake. So when we ask the question if people would be interested having a free intake, when they answer no, there is no trigger from this answer. So I think it would be good here if we add another note, and then in this note let the user ask questions about our services. And again, this information is present in our knowledge database, which will be created by the AI model in the backend. So let's create this new note, which we call user questions, and we will add an raw input. Do you have any questions about our trainings? And then we can save this again in a variable called question. Okay, and now we will use this question variable as input for our knowledge database. So here we can add workflow question, and we can change the prompt a bit and ask answer this question in a friendly manner. And similar as before, we can also add don't make it longer than 50 words. And then we can save this in the variable reply to user question. And then of course, similar as before, we need to write this reply to an output using the text part. So we add then the variable workflow dot reply to user question. Okay, and now we still need to connect our nodes. Okay, awesome. Let's give this another try, right? So let's start from the beginning. Okay, I give my name. I choose cardio. Let's keep it simple. And then we get the question, I hope you're as excited about the training as I am. Would you be interested in a free intake? And in this case, to test our user question, we pick the option no. And then we get asked if we have any other question about the training. So let's say we're interested in the pricing. What does your training cost? And now this question should be sent to the model, which has our knowledge database in the backend. And indeed, we can see here that for an individual training, the costs are 75 euros an hour. And for a group, it's 70 hours, which is exactly the rates that are indicated in our document. Okay, then I think there's maybe one last thing that I would like to connect, because once the user question is answered, there is no next node. So ideally, we would want to redirect this customer again to the question whether they want a free intake, so that we can gather their information afterwards. So to do that, we can just connect the user question node to the free intake question. So basically, when they firstly replied no, they asked the question and maybe they're convinced now. So you again ask them the question whether they want a free intake or not. Hopefully they say yes, and then they can be converted into a high quality lead. Okay, and then I think we can just connect the last node to the end nodes. Awesome, we have now finished this chatbot, I think. It's still a relatively basic chatbot, but I think with these skills and building blocks, you're capable yourself to further fine-tune and even add more nodes and more personalized nodes, integrating even more AI questions. But with this information, you get already a very extensive chatbot running, so I hope it was useful to you. And that brings us already to the end of this video. I hope this tutorial was useful for you. If it was, please leave a like and subscribe to this channel for more videos. I'm also very interested to hear from you which videos you would like to see more on this channel. If you have time, also take a look at my website better.eu, where you can reach out to me if you want to know even more about building personalized chatbots, or if you would like me to build a chatbot for you. So with that being said, have a nice day and see you next time. Bye!